always wanted me to be quiet, to stay silent, to smile, to lower my head and obey the rules they had written for me. Their rules were always clear. Comply, do not speak, do not feel. If you get hurt, turn away. If you are betrayed, forget. If you are humiliated, smile and pretend nothing happened. But they never understood that every wound, every time I was ignored, every lie I swallowed, changed me in ways that could never be undone. I was never what they wanted me to be. I could never be. The ones who broke me, the ones who tore me down, never realized that something grows in the ruins. Something stronger, something sharper, something that cannot be shattered again. I was never meant to live in their shadows, to be trapped in the lies they had woven around me. I was never meant to play their games, to be the character they had written for me. I was never meant to be a victim. No one is born a monster. No one is born with edges sharp enough to cut, with scars carved into the soul. I was not meant to be this, but my wounds, my silence, the betrayals I pretended to forget, they shaped me, as if every crack in me only refined my edges. They broke me down, and in the ashes of what remained, something rose that no longer resembled what once was. They thought they could control me, thought I would kneel like the rest, swallow my voice, shrink myself for the scraps of their approval. But they were wrong. I could never be what I am not. I could never accept weakness. I could never deny myself just to make them comfortable. Every scar turned me into something unbreakable. Every time I fell, I rebuilt myself. But this time, there was no softness left in me. What remained was edged, honed, armored in the wounds I carried. No one could touch me anymore. No one could shatter me again. I had nothing left to lose. Mercy. They stripped that from me long ago. The day I reached for kindness and found only cruelty. The day I called for help and was answered with silence. The day I gave everything I had, only to have it taken, burned, discarded. What they took, I will not give back. There is no mercy left in me. Compassion. The word means nothing to me now. The day I realized no one cared, that no one was coming, that I was alone in a world that feeds on the weak and laughs at suffering. Compassion died. I let it go like you let go of something that has outlived its use. They tried to destroy me, but they did not realize that when you break something, you can no longer control it. They shattered me, but each broken piece became a blade. Every part of me they stole only made me more dangerous. And now, they fear me. I see it in the way they look at me, in the way they whisper my name in the dark. I see the way they try to deny me, to run from the truth of what I have become. But it does not matter. They cannot unmake what they have created. I have risen from the fire, from the pain, from the abyss. What I am now is beyond their comprehension. They call me a monster, but they never ask who made me this way. They never ask whose hands shaped me, whose betrayals carved me into this. They only fear what they can no longer control. And I feed on that fear. Their fear is my power. They cannot accept that someone like me, someone who once knelt in silence, who bore the weight of their cruelty, has now risen. They cannot bear the thought that the monster they created is no longer caged. But this is the truth they must now live with. I am no longer who I used to be. There is no softness left in me. The innocence, the hope that once burned in my heart, was consumed in the fire of their betrayal. I can no longer look at them and feel sympathy. Their world is one of cruelty, and I have learned to survive in it. I have learned how to turn pain into strength, how to forge armor from my scars, how to take despair and reshape it into the force that drives me forward. They want me to forget the past, to ignore what they did to me, to bow my head and seek their forgiveness, as if I were the one at fault. But I have nothing to forgive. They are only witnessing the consequences of their own actions. If I am no longer soft, if I no longer believe in hope, if there is no mercy left in me, it is not because I chose this path. It is because they left me no other choice. Every scar on my body tells a story of betrayal, of wounds ignored, of hopes that were crushed beneath their feet. And each scar has made me stronger. Every time they shattered me, I rose again from the broken pieces. But each time, something of my old self was left behind in the ashes. Each time something in me died, and what remained was something no one could break again. Let them call me a monster. Let them whisper my name in fear. Let them shudder at the thought of me. This is what they created. They will never ask what made me this way. They will never question the choices that led to my transformation. They will only tremble, burdened by the weight of their own fear. No one can restore what has been broken beyond repair. No one can return me to the person I was before the ruin. They thought that if they brought me to my knees, if they humiliated me, if they hollowed me out from the inside, nothing of me would remain. But what they failed to understand was that in breaking me, they set me free. No chains hold me anymore. No lies deceive me. No empty promises keep me hoping. I have seen the truth, the raw, merciless truth that burned away all illusions. I have nothing left to lose. No weakness, no doubt, no regret remains in me. They taught me that love is an illusion, that kindness is a weapon used against you, that forgiveness is nothing but a sign of weakness. And I learned those lessons well. I fell into the fire, but I did not burn. I became something new. They wanted to reduce me to ashes, but instead they reforged me. And now, I am something that does not fear, something that cannot be broken, something that will never kneel again. They cannot stop me. They cannot bind what has grown in darkness, what has been tempered in fire. Every attempt to break me only made me stronger. Every time they tried to humiliate me, they only taught me how to live without their approval. Every wound they inflicted taught me that no one would ever be able to wound me again. This is what they fear the most, my freedom. They cannot control something that has freed itself. They cannot force me to submit. The past cannot be rewritten, and now there is no turning back. They must live with the consequences of their actions. Their world is no longer my world. I do not belong to their rules. I do not live for their acceptance. I do not seek their judgment. I do not beg for their approval. They wanted to erase me, to silence me, to destroy me. But instead, they created a monster that no longer fears anything. I have seen the truth that rips through their lies, that exposes their weakness, that shatters the illusion of their power. They thought I would remain in their shadow forever, but now they are the ones running from mine. I have risen from pain, from the darkness, from the betrayals they inflicted upon me. They thought I would crumble, that I would shatter, that their wounds would bring me to my end. But what they never realized was that I drew power from those very wounds. I am the monster they created. Every lie they told, every promise they broke, every scar they left on me, it is all etched into my being. I am no longer the naive, hopeful soul I once was. I am the result of their mistakes. I am not vengeance. I am not justice. I am something far worse. I am the truth they fear. The truth is, I am still here. I still breathe, I still walk, I still stand in the shadows, unyielding, unbroken. I have nothing left to lose. I owe no explanations, no apologies. I exist, and that alone is more than they can bear. They call me a monster, but I know the truth. This monster is nothing but their own reflection. And now this monster is free.